Agnihi yatra abhimatyate vayu yatra adhirudyate somo yatra atirichyate tatra sanjayate manaha. So where there is fire getting born, fire getting generated, where wind is getting blocked, where the heavenly liquor called soma is drunk, their mind attains the fullness. This is the meaning of this sloka. Now if you read a literal translation of this, people will go, it will be meaningless. Okay, and that's what many of these foreigners did. They did a literal translation of Vedas and Veda mantras. So some of the foreigners who wrote Veda mantra, they said earlier days there was no fire, and because there was no fire and man discovered fire, and then they started worshipping the fire. That's what they said. It's actually totally meaningless interpretation of the fire. Meaningless interpretation of the Veda mantra. So what is told here is, where there is fire getting generated. See, earlier days they used to generate fire by rubbing two wooden sticks. There was no matchboxes that time. Two wooden sticks used to be rubbed like this, and that generates fire. Okay, and where wind is getting blocked, how can wind can stop somewhere, right? So these are all not literal meanings, they are a deeper level of meaning. Where fire sticks are, when two wooden pieces you rub and generate fire, it is actually, that fire is called arani. Arani means one which is used for preparing for homa. Okay. So in arani, they give arani or the fire making process for symbolic meaning. So the student and master, the guru and shishya, are the two sticks. When the guru teaches, a realized master teaches a student, the realized master is the stick, upper wooden stick, and student is the lower wooden stick. The rubbing is happening. There's a fire which is generated internally. It's not a physical fire. The fire of intellect, the fire of wisdom, the fire of insight is generated in the student. And this insight is what opens up self-realization. There should be fire. And this fire is fire of teaching. The rubbing is the master teaches the questions, whatever wrong understanding of life student has, wrong belief of life student has, these are questioned. In that questioning, there's a burning which happens and the fire is generated. So this dialogue between the student and the master is called Upanishad. Upanishad means Upanishad, uplifting thought process. Our thought process can be downward moving, our thought process can be stagnant, and our thought process can be uplifting. Understand? So what is downward moving thought process? Yeah, why I am like this, yeah. All my life I am suffering only. Okay, before marriage I was suffering, after marriage I am suffering, life is a suffering. These are downward moving thought process. Depressing thoughts. Right? Huh? Why this should happen to me? Me only. Some of them sound very familiar. मुझे क्यों? Very familiar words, right? These are all called downward moving thought process. This will not take you upward in life. Right? There are some stagnant thought processes. कुछ भी करो यार, मैं ऐसे ही हूँ, I am like this only यार. They're stagnant. Whatever is happening here, what? The corruption is there everywhere here, so what? It's there. Accepting the status quo. They're stagnant thought flow. Then there is an upward moving thought flow. Upward is, yes, I have the ability to change myself. I have the ability to change something which is not right. This is an upward moving thought process. Alright? That means it gives you courage to operate in life, courage to succeed in life, courage to attempt in life. Not that by attempting somebody will become successful. Okay, a person who has attempted may fail also. But in the process of attempting, he has learned something. He is not stagnant. There are downward moving thought process. There is a stagnating thought process. There is a upward moving thought process. Okay. And beyond that, there is an uplifting thought process. Upanishad is the uplifting thought process. So upward moving is becoming successful in life. Uplifting is transformation of life. A Upanishad thought process awakens the divinity in you, awakens the God in you. You realize in the God in you. There's nothing more uplifting than the thought process of the Upanishad. No scripture in the world can compare in magnitude, sheer beauty, what Upanishad can give. They are uplifting thought process. Upanishad is the uplifting thought process. This Upanishad is given with the example of making the fire. The master has to rub the student, rub the dirt in the student's consciousness, dirt in the intellect of the mind of the student. The thought process will be kindled. The intellect has to be stimulated. The thinking has to be awakened towards a higher level, divinity in you. That's why where the fire is generated, he says. It's clear? Where the wind is stopped, how the wind can stop? There's no way wind can stop. Wind is constantly nature of moving. Moving nature is the nature of the wind. Wind can be stopped through pranayama, breathing practice. So various yogic techniques of breathing practice helps you to stop the mind for momentarily. So when the mind is stopped momentarily, you experience the bliss of the self. That's not permanent, of course. It's a momentary, but it is, yes. Where the fire is kindled, fire of wisdom is kindled by the dialogue of the master and the student, by the teaching of the master, there the wisdom awakens. When the wind stops, when the breathing practice, the pranayama, mastery of the breath stops the mind, then you awaken to your divinity. And third is Somah yatra athirche. Somaha means Soma Rasa. Actually, it is said that in Upanishad there is a Soma. Soma is actually a plant. They used to crush that Soma, the plant, and offer that liquid as an offering to Yajna, and then they used to drink. It's called Soma Rasa. And Soma Rasa was supposed to be an intoxicant, equivalent of one of the alcoholics. Okay, so in Veda mantras, there are many mantras are dedicated to Soma. Those who don't understand the Veda mantra, so they say, wow, Vedic also they have to have liquor parties. Okay, so there are so many mantras in Veda where liquor is extolled. Okay, so drink liquor. In fact, they may put an advertisement also. Okay. So they don't understand the Somarasa concept. In Vedic mantras, you have to understand that everything internally happening in you, they used to explain through external symbol. Agni is an external symbol, but its internal representation is willpower. Somarasa is intoxicant outside, but internal happening is the mind getting purified and merging with the supreme reality. When the mind merges with the inner consciousness self, you experience the extreme state of bliss, the high state of bliss, and that is explained as Somarasa. So there are three examples he has given, Rishi has given. First example is fire generated when through teaching of the master and the student, teaching of the master to the student. Second example is pranayama, when the student is practicing meditation, practicing breathing practice. And third example is somarasa, when the mind has become silent through the meditation, mind merges with the higher consciousness. So what else you have to give? This external example, jnana has to come, the pranayama has to happen, dhyana has to be had done. This is the way of self-realization. It's told. Any questions?
How to learn Sanskrit? I mean, what is ideal way of learning Sanskrit?
You have any exposure to Sanskrit so far?
We had it in school, and I have interest in learning Sanskrit.
How many years you studied Sanskrit in school?
3 years.
I also studied 3 years only.
But I mean, it was very academic rather than,
I also studied academic only. Sanskrit is a mother of all the languages. It's not very complex. Right now, if you have studied 3 years for Sanskrit in school, don't have to study again. Use Sanskrit in the translation text.
Okay.
Don't have to go back to learning Sanskrit.
Okay.
English translations are available, good translations are available. Use that. May not be adequate. Okay, because they may not explain the inner meaning. For example, agni means agani. Right? All those inner meaning may not be explained, but physical meaning they can explain. If you have to learn inner meaning, not many people will be able to teach that. Right? If you still want to brush up Sanskrit, there are some Sanskrit schools. You can learn from them. But since you have already studied for 3 years, I don't see any significant benefit you'll get by going through the schools.
Okay. And when will I start getting inner meanings?
When you apply your mind, when you work on yourself, you start at the work level, which is seva, at the physical level body, at the breath level pranayama, at the mental level mind. Right?
Got it.
How to live in present.
How to live in the present.
Means when we are doing something or mind is in somewhere.
When did you learn this terminology called present? How to live in the present? When did you learn this word? Who taught you this word?
Vipassana and you.
I'm teaching. My 9 months class is now that only. Now 9 months class I have made it to 18 months. With the self-study, you can do through download it through internet at home. Okay, study something. You can come to the class anywhere, anytime.
When you are starting?
We may start in a couple of days, maybe 10-15 days. Start working on the course. Right? It's 18 months course. For all these people I completed 9 months. Then you realize 9 months is not adequate for many of the people, so 18 months.
Please notify us, we want to join.
Yeah.
Already notified. Already admitted also.
That's nice.
Okay, so 2 slokas we have completed. Let us do meditation for some time now.
Will you stop this?
Yeah, you can stop and start another record. Can give the